You know that feeling, right? When someone you know just vanishes. The texts go unanswered, the calls go to voicemail. We call it ghosting, and it's everywhere, but it's also deeply, deeply misunderstood. So let's get into it. Let's talk about why people, and maybe that person is you, suddenly disappear from the grid.
Just take a second and think about it. Have you ever done this? Just stopped. Stopped replying, stopped showing up, and just slowly backed away from pretty much everyone. Or maybe you've been on the receiving end, left staring at your phone, wondering what on earth you did wrong. Either way, it's a really confusing and honestly a pretty painful place to be.
And that silence, wow, it can be deafening, can it? If you're on the outside looking in, it feels like a door just got slammed in your face for no reason. But for the person inside that silence, it's something totally different. It's not about being quiet. It's about a desperate, all-consuming need for quiet. And that right there, that's the heart of the problem. There's this massive gap between how this behavior is seen and what's actually happening behind the scenes. So let's unpack this big misunderstanding. I mean, it's a totally natural reaction. When somebody just cuts us off, our first instinct is to make it about us. We think, oh, they must be mad at me, or wow, they just don't care anymore. We see it as this cold, personal attack, right? Or maybe even a little arrogant. But you know what? Most of the time, that's not even close to the real story.
Okay, so look at this contrast. It is night and day. On one side, you have the outside world's interpretation, cold, arrogant, angry. But the reality, what's actually going on inside, it's about being completely and totally overwhelmed, burnt out. It's not an act of aggression against you. It's an act of protecting what little energy they have left. It's not about pushing others away. It's about simple survival.
And to really get why this happens, we have to go a little deeper. We need to talk about what's going on inside the brain when it just has, well, too much on its plate. And this is the key concept right here: psychological overload. Seriously, think of it like a circuit breaker in your house. When you plug in too many things and the system gets overloaded, what happens? A switch flips to prevent a fire. Well, your brain has one of those too. When the emotional stress gets to be way too much, your brain literally enters self-preservation mode and starts shutting things down to prevent a complete and total meltdown. So, how does a person even get to that point? Well, it often starts with this one particular role: being the emotional caretaker. You know, that's the person everyone leans on, the one who's the rock for everybody else. But here's the thing: you can't carry everyone else's weight forever. Eventually, it leads to a massive burnout. And that is the breaking point. The brain flips that protective switch to stop the energy drain, and at that moment, the only thing the person craves is absolute, uninterrupted peace and quiet. So you see, this isn't about abandoning people. It's a strategic retreat. This completely reframes the whole act of disappearing. It's not malicious. It's a necessary tool for survival. Let's be super clear about this because it's so important. This wasn't done out of anger. It wasn't some passive-aggressive scheme to punish anyone. The emotional fuel tank is just empty. There is literally nothing left to give, not even enough energy to explain why there's nothing left. That silence isn't a weapon. It's a white flag. It's a symptom of total exhaustion. And this, right here, is the bottom line. It was a last resort. Think about it. If you're drowning, you don't have the time or the energy to shout to everyone on the beach and explain that you need to save yourself. You just have to swim. Going silent, that's the swim to shore. It's the only way to stop taking on water and finally start to heal. So the next time someone in your life goes quiet, or the next time you feel that powerful urge to pull away and go silent yourself, maybe we can look at it a little differently. What if instead of seeing it as a harsh ending or some kind of personal failure, we saw it for what it so often really is? Not the end of the story, but a necessary pause. A quiet chapter dedicated to healing.